The audacity, ladies and gentlemen. The audacity. You know what? Like, I don't even know what to say about Kawhi Leonard and Uncle Dennis anymore. I really, really don't. But damn it, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drop a bomb for the audacity of Uncle Dennis here after I read you some of these reports because I do admire it actually. To have the tenacity, the unmitigated gall, as Stephen A would say, the big kahunas to ask for what Kawhi Leonard was asking for, excuse me, what Kawhi Leonard was asking for is really something else. And let me just share my screen with you because there's a few things that I want to read. And you know what, I'll pull it up on the screen so you guys can see it your damn self. But a couple of things I want to read from here. And this is from NBA Central. Okay. This is where I got a lot of my news from on X. Love me some NBA Central here. Actually, drop another bomb for NBA Central, damn it. But two things came out that I want to read to you. First one, Kawhi Leonard didn't sign with the Lakers in 2019 because he didn't want to play with LeBron James, per Bruce Arthur, Toronto Star columnist. The Raptors believed there was a real chance he would return instead of going to the Clippers, despite the lure of Leonard's home state of California. Leonard didn't want to play with LeBron James, so the Lakers were a third wheel in the sweepstakes. Jimmy Butler, a preferred partner, was headed to Miami, and Leonard recognized that Toronto was the best basketball situation, all told. Okay, whatever. Let's go to this one here because this is mostly where I want to start with this thing. Kawhi Leonard's camp demands to the Toronto Raptors in 2019 free agency. And this all ties back into what has been going on with him and that bootleg tree planting company Aspire and the Los Angeles Clippers. So Kawhi wanted the Raptors to trade for Paul George, then an extra $10 million in sponsorship income, bluntly stating, "We don't want to do anything," which is the no-show job once again. Partial ownership of the Toronto Maple Leafs, ownership stake in other companies affiliated with MLSE.
This is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this.
And this is what I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to me saying the unmitigated gall of this all. Okay? Now, listen, I did drop a bomb for Uncle Dennis, damn it, because for you to actually ask those things and think that you're going to get it is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But I still give credit because, you know, you went to shoot your shot, didn't work. Maybe it did in Los Angeles, but it didn't work here. And you wanted to trade for Paul George, which is funny because, you know, the Clippers ended up doing that. And that is such a LA Clippers thing to do, by the way. And I'll get back into that in a second. $10 million in sponsorship for another no-show job. Partial ownership of the MLSC of partial ownership of the Maple Leafs, and then ownership stakes in companies affiliated with MLSC.
How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
So first of all, you're not even allowed to get secret deals. That's number one. Okay, you can't use secret deals in the NBA, and the NBA is investigating this right now, and they're going to have to get this one right. They're going to have to get this one right. I don't really think Bomber will get in trouble. I don't really think Kawhi Leonard will necessarily get in trouble either, although I don't know. I'm just assuming. But something is going to have to be done here because, as I mentioned to you a couple podcasts ago when I was talking about Kawhi Leonard, if this type of thing is happening right now, how much more of it is happening around other players and NBA deals that have been signed? So to me, we're not getting rid of this discussion anytime soon. And I don't know, am I making too big a deal out of this because it gives teams an unfair advantage? Am I the one who's being the crybaby here? Huh? Wah? Wah? Am I the one crying here about this? Now, listen, I really don't feel like talking about Kawhi Leonard that much more in regards to this subject because I feel like this is years ago now at this point. And I really don't want to keep touching back on Kawhi Leonard over and over and over again. Damn it, he helped us win a chip. It's over with now. Whatever happened after happened after. I just think this is pretty interesting stuff here. And so the fact that he asked for all that stuff, it really does tell me, first of all, that he had no intention of re-signing with the Toronto Raptors. Clearly, he had no intention of signing back with the Raptors. I think we all know that at this point. That's why he asked for this stuff. He's like, let's just put this out here, Unc, and see what we can get. If we don't get it, who cares? Because we don't want to stay anyway. But damn it, if they say yes, maybe we got something here. We got some ownership here, some ownership there. We got extra 10 million here, and blah 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 blah. I mean, this guy, like, I'm glad he ended up with the Clippers at this point. But damn it, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy and grateful for what he did when he was here. But the price would have been extremely steep, and especially for a guy who doesn't play very much. He does not play a lot of games. And when I talk to you about, isn't this such an LA Clippers thing to do? You trade the one Shea Gilgeous Alexander. And then you get a Paul George who ended up leaving in free agency anyway because Kawhi Leonard was always injured. That's pretty much what it came down to. Even though Paul George ended up going to a team where the other guy's always injured as well. But still, that's not our problem. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And the Clippers, for all that they have done for Kawhi Leonard, they came and they were stalking him when he was playing for the Raptors and getting him some extra money off the books, allegedly. It sure looks like that was the case. Even though I can't say that definitively, it looks like that was the case. We'll see what comes out of the investigation. And what have they gotten out of it? What have the Clippers gotten out of all of this? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And listen, Steve Ballmer could be telling the truth. He didn't know anything about it. A lot of people don't really believe that because, as a billionaire, you got a lot of people working for you behind the scenes in regards to your money and your assets and all that kind of stuff. And to not know that this was happening, listen, ladies and gentlemen, maybe he did it. But I've heard a lot of lie detectors before, and something seems funny. Here's my man Vincent Mann. We've heard him on a lie detector. Let me tell you this:
I am no pervert.
We should give Steve Ballmer a lie detector test. Maybe we should. Maybe I'm going too far here. But all I'm saying is this, and I don't want this to be a long podcast because, damn it, I mentioned to you, I don't want to spend all my time talking about Kawhi Leonard, but I do want to say this. You asked for a no-show job in 2 different places. Like, what would it have been to just promote a product, endorse a product? Like, even if it was somewhere, damn it, like Subway, for example. Damn it, you couldn't get on a commercial for 3 seconds, just take a bite out of a sandwich and just make it look legit. You just wanted to collect money and just literally do nothing. That is hilarious to me. And people say, well, who cares? He got away with it anyway. Well, did he? Did he really get away with it? Because the guy who started that Aspire company, the one who still owes Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers some money, well, he went to court and he was charged with fraud and some other charges. And it just went bad. It went completely left. And that's the entire reason this whole thing came to light, is because they ended up going bankrupt and out of business. And then he got hit with fraud charges and all that kind of stuff. So things just ultimately went bad anyway. And so don't get me wrong. Kawhi Leonard was an absolutely fantastic player in 2019. But if you're going to be doing stuff like this, like, you got to be on like LeBron's level. Like, if you were LeBron on Cleveland when he was taking those teams to the finals, then maybe I can understand. And don't get me wrong, like I mentioned, Kawhi was definitely an awesome player. But I mean, damn, for what he was doing compared to what LeBron was doing at that time when nobody in the East could beat him. And I mean, at least LeBron James, for God's sakes, will promote the sport, promote the brand, the team, all that kind of stuff. Kawhi doesn't do that either. And that's okay. He doesn't have to. It's okay if he doesn't. He doesn't have to. I'm just saying. At least if you're going to do something like this, try to do the best job you can to make it look legitimate. That's all I'm saying here, folks. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I got to say about that issue. At Mike Roach 7 on IG, at Mike Roach 23 on X. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share the Mike Roach podcast. I will be back again soon, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm out.